Alright, welcome to the final NovNov project video. We are just going to take a look at some logging today, have a nice easy wrap up to the month. If this was a more well thought out project, we probably would have ordered this a little bit differently to have like a nice climactic finish at the end of the month, but hey, it is what it is. So we are on our root account in NovNov3, and we are going to cd space var space logs. Log, plurals are hard, who needs one? So this is the home location, if I do pwd, this is the home location for a lot of the default logging. So if I do something like ls space hyphen lh, that'll give us the long list with a bit more information. And in here we can see we have a bunch of stuff. DNF's logs are in here. Cron, or how you schedule stuff's in here. We've got our droplet. Messages is where we can find some system messages. Samba, because we were messing with that. And then secure would be our authentication logs. This is kind of funny. We have a readme in here. If we cat that readme, here's an explanation of what's going on. Right? Because there are normally more log files in here. But you are running a systemd based OS where traditional syslog has been replaced with the journal. The journal stores the same and more information as classic syslog. To make use of the journal and access the collected log data, simply invoke Journalctl, which will output the logs in the identical text-based format. So we don't actually have to go looking for a lot of our logs. If we're in systemd and we're using journal, we can just use this Journalctl command. So gone are the days of doing something like tail messages and then kind of reading through to see what's going on. Instead, we can look at that manual page for the Journalctl. And this will give us a lot of insight on how to use that command, right? There we go. We can add in, look at since. We look for specific patterns. If you know the syslog identifiers, you can look for critical errors or alerts, anything like that. And you can even grep as a part of Journalctl. So that is a command you could look into. I'm more, I wouldn't say old school, but like I remember tail F to look at things like messages, and then that just like actively watches. So if anything changes, or we could do that to our secure. Awesome. Have a lot of invalid users trying to sign in, potentially. This is why we use keys. So that is going to be tail F. It watches the log as it's going. Very similarly, so tail we've talked about is the last number of lines. Head is the start of it. There's also more and less as commands. So more, if I do more messages, the way I remember this, it tells you how much more there is. And I can just kind of page down through all of the available messages. Less can work with a plus capital F instead of a hyphen lowercase f. And if I do that one on messages, it'll give me that similar follow, and it's just waiting for data. So it's going to continue going through, right? And if I needed to look at something, I could go ahead and abort this. So I could do Ctrl+C. And then if I saw something that called to me, right, I ended the wait, so I can now scroll up through previous messages. If I do Q, that will quit out. So just as two quick ones, how to follow. We can do tail space hyphen lowercase f for follow. Look at our secure. And then whenever we, Huawei, I used to have a Huawei, I actually still do have a Huawei phone. Anyway, So that is still going through, still attempting to get into our SSH. But when you're here, you can use Ctrl+C to get out. If I were to use less with the +F on the secure, it will give me all of it. It'll give me everything, but just the bottom as it waits for more. Then I use Ctrl+C to abort, and then I can scroll up through the historic attempts. So that is just two ways to read through it. Once you are done, you'll see the little colon down here. You can hit Q to quit. But now we've kind of reached the end of NovNov, and it's sad. I've got something else coming up next that I'm going to keep working on, so I'll still have more videos coming out. Less every single day though. But we gotta finish. We have to do the last final thing. When you're done, you turn the lights off. So let's go ahead and exit out of NovNov. Go back to our NovNov project in DigitalOcean, and I am going to, for the final time this November, destroy my droplet. Goodbye.